Now joined by Padres starting pitcher Michael King. Welcome to the Benham Woods program. Good to have you.
Appreciate you having me.
It's our pleasure, man. Now we're a little bit nervous because we know you just did a walk and talk with Jesse Agler.
Yep.
He is a professional.
He's so good.
We are not
so smooth. Yeah.
But the good thing is we don't know what he asked you, and the audience doesn't know what he asked you because he hasn't posted it yet.
That's a good point.
So you let us know after who did better, us or Jesse, who made you feel more comfortable.
Okay. All right. I'll let you know.
All right, good.
Speaking of feeling comfortable, first time Cactus League with the Padres yesterday. How did you feel in your outing yesterday against the Guardians?
Yeah, felt good. I worked well with Campy. I feel like we were just able to get ahead of the count, so it makes it a much easier game when you're 0-1 on everybody. And I felt like we were on the same page for the most part, executed both sides of the plate, so I felt really good.
So it's going to be interesting for you. We were talking off the air about the ball will fly here a little bit. Jumps off the bat. You're going to love San Diego. You're going to love San Diego, man.
The marine layer especially.
You keep the ball down in San Diego, you're going to have great success because, go ask Manny and Toddy and Xander how hard they have to hit it to get it out in April, May, and sometimes June in San Diego. So just know that going in, you're going to have a great first 3 months.
Looking forward to it, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely that dry, thin air the ball carries here a little bit. So I'm trying to keep the ball on the ground as much as I can here.
For sure. And you got a really good defense behind you as well. So it's fun. And I know, listen, there's a lot of adjustments that have to be made when you join a new organization. You got to meet all the new players. You got to come to a new spring training facility. How's it gone for you so far?
Honestly, I think it's been a much easier transition because of the pitching camp that we did in January. I know Musgrove put it on, so I'm super appreciative of him. Not only just to meet a couple of the pitchers, but the staff too. And I didn't have to come in and learn 200 people's names.
Yeah.
I had a good week to really get to know all these guys. And it's been a much easier transition because I didn't come into a spring training complex not knowing where I am and who I'm with.
Sure.
I knew exactly who I was with and just had to kind of learn the ropes here.
Give me your impressions of Joe. He's an icon in San Diego.
No, Joe.
Joe.
From San Diego through the first no-hitter. I mean, I was a Padres fan growing up. It's like, am I ever going to see a no-hitter in my lifetime? I've cheered for this team for 48 years. And I was like, was it ever going to happen? And Joe finally did it. And he's such a good dude, good to the community. I think it'd be hard to pitch in your hometown the way he does. What have your been impressions of Joe so far?
Yeah, he's incredible. Extremely hard worker. He almost makes me feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like I do a lot. So I don't know if I've beaten him to the field yet this spring. He's here all the time. And then just talking to him baseball-wise, he's such a student of the game. And it's great for me because I had my 9 starts last year, but I'm still learning as a starting pitcher. And now I got a guy like Joe that can actually teach me about his routine, his bullpen routine, how he's attacking hitters, what he sees in different swings, why to do something in a second or third time through. And it's something that's like absolutely invaluable to me.
When we're talking to Michael King here on Benham Woods this morning, you're talking about trying to glean information from the guys that you're pitching with. But when you go on the mound, how hard is it are you a thinker out there? Are you constantly going, all right, this guy's on deck, and I know that this is what I threw him last, or are you just sign, go, execute?
I'm definitely a thinker.
Are you?
I also think that helps me not be nervous when I'm out there.
Sure.
And I always said, if you're prepared, you're not going to be nervous.
Good point.
So if I knew the scouting report through and through and a guy gets up there, I'm just thinking about the scouting report and knowing that I've seen video on how to get this guy out, how to get this guy swing and miss, how to get this guy to ground out so many times. And so now it's just confidence when I'm on the mound and all I got to do is execute. So I definitely would like to have more information than possible. I know some guys are like, I don't want to think out there. That gets me away from being competitive. But I was taught at a young age that, like, if you didn't study for the test, you're going to fail the test.
Fair enough. I know that very well. Very, very well. You can't wing it. You can't just go wing everything in your entire life.
So that definitely was a huge part for me. And I feel like that adds to my competitive nature on the mound.
You had some interesting comments this week about the role of a starter and wanting to throw a lot of innings. Now, we've seen in modern baseball, they are very careful about adding to the inning count of a pitcher from the previous year. But you've said you kind of target like 180 innings. You want to do that. What's been the kind of conversations like with Ruben Niebla and the coaching staff about what you're going to be allowed to do this year?
Well, Ruben said there's going to be no restrictions, but they're just going to monitor it. And now I'm okay with that. They had Seth Lugo last year go from 60 to 150 or whatever it is. And so I was appreciative. He said that we're going to monitor if your arm slot starts dropping, if your velocity starts dropping. I got to be communicative about how my body's feeling. And as long as all those things are checking out, then he said, you're full go. I know Lugo's best month last year was in September. And so it's like a guy that has never pitched that much had his best month with all these innings on his arm. So I think it's great that I'm in the situation that I'm in because they just did it last year. But I feel like there should be no restrictions. I'm going to make sure that I take care of my body and make sure that I'm healthy enough to do it.
What is the routine between starts? I'm always fascinated with position players, and we hear stories about Manny. He hurt his ankle. He was like on the table for 4 hours. They just trying to get out on the field, man. But if you're healthy, you throw 6 innings. What's the next day? The next day after that look like for you?
A lot of guys are different. I'm a day 2 bullpen guy.
Okay,
I like to throw sometimes 50 pitches in a bullpen if I'm working on something. And I don't want to do that on day 3, like most, I'd say, starters do, just because then I'm sore on day 5 when I got to actually go.
Yeah.
So day 1 for me is like a bike flush, get a little bit of cardio in there, very light throwing and a lower body lift. Day 2 is my bullpen day with an upper body lift and a lot of shoulder care. Day 3 is a mobility day for me. And then day 5 is really just sprints.
Yeah.
And so you're doing something every day to make sure that you're still progressing. But I think it's a lot of trial and error throughout the beginning part of your career. And I've just always had success with day 2 bullpen and building my routine around that.
Got Michael King here with us, Padres pitcher on Bennett Woods. Now, you come over from the Yankees organization, and you were from New York. Were you a Yankees fan growing up?
So this is the story. So I was born in upstate New York, but moved when I was 6 months old. So I don't remember New York at all. And then found myself in Rhode Island, and that was the only place that I actually remember from 4 years old on. And my dad's from Boston, my mom's from New York, and so my dad raised me to be a Boston everything fan. And in 2003, when the Red Sox played the Yankees in the ALCS, my dad had tickets to one of those games. Got rained out, rescheduled to a day that he had to work. So he gave the tickets to my mom and told me to go. And my mom's a diehard Yankee fan. Her favorite player is Mariano Rivera. The Yankees win. I now come home from that game like the Yankees are the best team in the world.
Oh my God!
And
your dad's just.
I remember my dad laying on the couch, and he this is even worse. He gave me $20 to buy a souvenir and it was at Fenway. And I come home, and he's laying on the couch, and I can still picture it. And I got a Yankee hat on as I turn around the corner. And he starts stabbing himself in the chest.
He's like, no.
He's like,
I
are you
failed.
kidding me?
You've broken my heart.
He's like equally mad at my mom as he is at me. And because I'm in that rebellious little kid state,
Sure.
I loved it and wanted to be even more of a Yankee fan. So I'm a Yankee fan, but then I'm a
Red
Celtics
Sox fan.
I know. I'm Celtics, Boston, like Bruins, Patriots. So yeah, oh yeah. But it was a dream come true playing in the pinstripes, because from 7 years old on, I was a Yankee fan.
Yeah, you're too young for when they broke our heart in 1998 in the World Series. Yeah, you're probably about 2 back then. So,
but your dad, when you got drafted by the Yankees,
I was drafted by the Marlins.
Yeah.
But when you went to the Yankees, and he was a huge Yankee fan then at that point.
And I'm not kidding. He was the first one of my family that's a Red Sox fan, even friends because I'm from Rhode Island, everybody's a Red Sox fan. He was the first one to totally jump ship. And it was my mom's line, but he kind of coined it as his blood runs thicker than dirty water. So
that's really good. Yeah, my dad went to Notre Dame. I'm a huge Notre Dame fan.
I went to Boston College.
Did you? Oh, yeah,
tough.
we're already. But like, if my kid got picked up to go play college baseball at USC, fight on. You know what I mean? Like, it's just how it goes.
That's how it is.
That's how it is, man. Man, we're super excited to have you here. So the not that you're ever comfortable, right? You're never comfortable. You don't seem like a guy that's like, no, I'm just going to cruise and see how it goes. It feels like, you got a rotation spot locked up with the San Diego Padres. The competition's pretty fierce with the guys behind you. Tell us about some of the guys that are working for those, maybe the 4th and 5th spots. Some of the guys you came over with too. There's some pretty good arms there.
Great arms. Yeah. I mean, Brito and Vasquez are 2 young guys that I think have a ton of upside. I don't know if you've seen, you probably saw Vasquez a couple days ago pitch. His stuff is absolutely electric. Once he figures out like sequences and learning swings and reading hitters, he's going to be an elite starter. Brito is almost already there. He has such a good feel for his command, where his body's moving. And it's another thing is, like you said, you got to think on the mound a little bit. You got to know who's on deck. You got to know the situation. And like this kid out there is already doing it, and they're both mid-20s. It's really impressive.
That's awesome.
You mentioned pitching with Campy yesterday. You came over with a catcher. We had Kyle Higashioka on earlier. But he can't just be the personal catcher for all the Yankees. You got to be able to.
But he kind of has. He caught both Brito and Vasquez. I was like,
yeah.
Higgy, what are we doing here, dude? You got to meet it. You got to learn everybody else. But I have not thrown to Higgy yet, which is actually a good thing because I've thrown to Higgy for the last 6 years.
Sure.
So he knows me, and I'm fine going to Campy for a little bit and trying to learn Campy.
How hard is that to have a new catcher back there and getting on the same page and knowing the mannerisms, and he needs to know you as well. He's got to put in the work as well.
And I think it can be hard unless you have a catcher that's willing to learn. And it was an awesome conversation with Campy the other day. I said, in between innings, I'm going to go over basically every time I shook you off, the next 3 hitters that we're about to face and how I want to attack these guys. And I said, but trust me, I get it. You got another job you got to hit. I'm not going to like totally take away all your time. And he was like, you kidding me? I'll be all right hitting. Like, I want to have these conversations.
He's
all
like,
the
I
time.
can hit, bro. Don't worry about my hitting. You've seen me hit. I can hit.
But having a guy that's so willing to do that and sacrifice his prep work to hit to just learn me in spring training was awesome to hear. So I really can't wait to continue those conversations and develop a great relationship with him.
This dude, when you're done, you're just gonna broadcast. You go straight from the thing right to just. There's certain guys that come in, they grab the mic, you're like, oh, this guy's gonna be after our jobs here in a few years, man.
So my dad was an anchor, I got.
Oh yeah, that's right. We heard that. So
That's
Ben,
right,
So Ben, we do the morning radio show, and then he does sports on TV at night. He's actually quite. He works like 18-hour days.
Okay, that's why he doesn't golf anymore.
That's right. Yeah. No human alive works mornings and nights, but he does. Your dad was an anchorman on local news.
That's I was born in upstate New York because he was bouncing around up there, and then got the head job in Minneapolis, the 6 and 11 o'clock news in Minneapolis, and then got it in Providence. So he's got the whole background. And my mom worked as a director of communications for a high school for me, and she was in PR with Malt. So they love the media.
They love the media. Great.
I know the 6 and 11 lifestyle. I've been doing a 6 and 11 for a long time. Did it last night from here. I get from here out in Arizona.
There you go. Yeah,
it's good to have another one in the family. But Michael, it's a pleasure to meet you. Really appreciate it. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
Certainly rooting for you. We'll get on the golf course sometime and have a match. Do you mind signing our bat? We're doing it for our listeners here.
Of course.
Well, you guys are both 5 handicaps.
Could be a good match.
Big money match.
Big money match. Well, it's Ben. He doesn't do a lot of big money.
Well, but Michael hasn't gotten his first big contract yet. I'm sure that's coming. Looking forward to it. But when he does, I will not be able to compete in the big money matches.
Michael, he buys his jeans at Costco. Yeah. Just that's a real thing, and his gas,
shoes,
and everything else. Shoes, everything.
Yeah, I'm a dad. Full Costco lifestyle at this point. Hey. Got 2 boys, 20 and 18 now. So
nothing to be ashamed of.
not a damn thing. Thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Wish you the best.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Michael King, Padres pitcher, with us here on Ben and Wood.